Hi, everybody. This is Tim Johnson and
Stacy Borho.
Stacy Borho. We're in the neighborhood on PeoriaLife.com and a bunch of other places, right?
All kinds of places.
Yeah.
It's been too long. You're going to have to remind me of the list.
We're on WPEO. We're on ITV3. We're on MediaCom. We're on Peoria Life, YouTube, Facebook.
We're everywhere.
Soon to be our own little online radio also. So, yeah, all over the place.
And that's exciting stuff.
Yeah. This is the first time we're back in almost a month.
Yeah.
So,
Been a long time.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot to catch up on.
we do. You've been away.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's been going on?
Well, went on my 7th mission trip. So headed back with Richwoods Christian Church to Manaus, Brazil. There are 7 of us that went from Richwoods and took a trip down south and went into the Amazon and helped out some people in the jungle.
So, what was the purpose of the mission trip?
There's a lot of purposes. It's interesting to know that when you do get out into the jungle, that even just appearing is an answer to some people's prayers. The people in the jungle saying, you know, here's Americans that came from so many thousands of miles away to come see us out in the jungle. That was an answer to their prayer, maybe a sign that showed them that God cared. We did also take food and actually Tender Mercy packets, Midwest Food Bank.
Yeah.
They actually donated like 100 Tender Mercy packets that we took with us in our suitcases. So that was cool. And then we took some clothes and we took some medicine and we took toys for the kids and all kinds of fun stuff. So it was a 24-hour adventure boat ride into the Amazon, which was like close towards the end of the Amazon itself. But it was really awesome.
Wow. You took like 100 tennis balls or something like that?
Yeah, yeah. My mom worked really hard on getting a whole bunch of different donations. So she had collected for us hundreds of toothbrushes and toothpaste and even dental floss and then also tennis balls. And I know when she called me to tell me about tennis balls, I'm like, how am I going to haul 100 tennis balls to the Amazon? And I just had pictures of like in the airport of all these balls bouncing
yeah.
across the suitcase, busting open. You know, sometimes we do that worst case scenario, imagine. But it actually all worked out great. And we actually had Frisbees too. And water guns for those kids. I mean, living on the Amazon to run around and play with squirt guns, they didn't even know that they existed. So it was really cool to hang out with the kids. There was over 100 of them in this jungle.
So, did you get to see them get to play with those a little
Absolutely,
bit?
absolutely. That's one of the fun parts about going on a mission trip is you really get to hang out and it's not intense because you're getting to know people, you're discovering, you're learning things with them. So that's just really awesome. But yeah, like the Frisbees, we put those out. Probably would have been a different way that we could have done that to show them how to use it. Instead, we kind of started passing them out slowly. Next thing we knew, they were being thrown way up in the air and coming down, and then they thought that was hilarious of wherever those Frisbees would fall. So it was a free-for-all for a little bit, and then we started trying to show them how to properly use a Frisbee. But, I mean, I guess there's multiple uses for Frisbees, right? You could turn around and use it as a plate or scooping something or whatever you needed.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of the trip?
Because this was my 3rd trip into the Amazon, it's always the hammocks. Well, the people too, of course, but I love just relaxing in the hammock on the boat in the middle of the Amazon. It's just, there's nothing more beautiful. There was one night we even got to see the Milky Way because it was pitch black out there. And there weren't any clouds, obviously, and it was just breathtaking and the beauty that you're surrounded with and just the simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
So I only packed a backpack and I literally took 10 shorts and 10 tank tops and, you know, we were flip-flops and that was it. You were on your way every day without a worry about anything. So
The simple life.
And cutting off. So in the Amazon, there's not really a bunch of towers. So there is no communication via cell phones when you're out in the jungle. So it's kind of nice to unplug from life. As you know, you listed all the different ways that we're plugged in.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to unplug.
I can understand that.
So
Yeah, being a lender, a mortgage lender, I'm sure that your life is always connected.
Yep, we're always getting contacted, which is fine. You know, it's something I love too, but it's also nice to just disconnect and recharge, if you will.
We have little video clips of some photos. So can we play that footage there, Mike? We'll kind of talk through that a little bit of what the pictures are. So it'll be just a second before we do that. But
That's fine.
so was this your favorite trip?
Oh, you can't do that. We have favorite parts of all different kinds of trips.
So here's the boat. And everybody
This is
getting on.
this is the smallest crew I've ever been with. So 7 is the smallest. So we got to Brazil. I'll just kind of walk you through our timeline. But we got to Brazil, and we actually the next day had to go shopping because we had to go buy our hammocks. So we go buy our hammocks and some mosquito nets, and we get the food and everything and prep everything for the boat. And then Sunday morning we actually got on the boat, and that's where we stayed from Sunday morning until Friday night, super late. We basically traveled, as mentioned earlier, 24 hours into the Amazon before we got to the actual jungle. I mean, we were literally on the tops of trees. Like you could reach out and touch the very top of a tree next to us as we were trying to get through to get to these people who were in the middle of the jungle. So that was pretty crazy. But it was a fun trip, and we'll share a video that Henry and I did because one of my the gentleman on the trip with us, Henry, he has actually been since the beginning, and 8 years he's been doing this, and
Showing Henry now.
he's awesome. But you know, I just want people to also know that you don't have to have skills or certain talents or be able to do stuff to be able to go and experience a mission trip. And I think that's one of the things that Henry and I tried to kind of talk about too. You know, he's 71 years old. I'm 40 years old. I mean, I've been on mission trips with teenagers. I've been on mission trips with older, younger, same age, female, male. It doesn't really matter. That everybody could technically come if they're willing and able, right? So I think it's something, if you're willing and able, that you should definitely experience in your lifetime.
And it's something that you don't necessarily have to be financially,
No.
have a lot of money to be able to do, because a lot of times when you go with the church, sometimes you can raise those donations, and sometimes the church would help, or raise those
Absolutely.
in different ways too. So.
Absolutely. So that was actually one of the cool things about my first few mission trips was raising the money, because we all have these mindsets of, no one's going to donate to this, whatever it may be. And I know on my first mission trip, I was so excited, and I'm always excited for all of them, but my very first one, it was like, I can't believe I got accepted. It was like an acceptance thing. And then to share that I was going to be doing this, and to send out a letter to friends and family and whoever, to pray for us, to donate if they want to, or whatever they were thinking of was fine, but just to have it on people's minds. And literally to the day that I left, God blessed me with money from people from all walks of life, whether it was $5 or $300 or $1,000. I had people donating money. And, the people who you think might not donate any, sometimes are your biggest donors. You just don't know what's on their heart at that time. Yeah. And so it was really cool to watch that money come in that supported the mission trip, to be able to go out and bless these people along with the people that you're with too, right? Because that's the other funny thing, is we always think, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to help these people. But really, in the meantime, it's your heart that's getting rearranged, and your eyes are opening a little bit more, and you're really learning about yourself and the people that you're around. So it's pretty powerful.
There's a lot of churches in our area that do different mission trips. Our church, Great Oaks in Germantown, they go to Peru and help an orphanage, and they're doing that multiple times. You can connect there. You don't necessarily have to be a part of that church,
Right.
but have to have the same goal and same mission. So, and what church were you with again?
Richwoods Christian
Richwoods.
Church.
Okay.
But actually, so we partner up with a missionary team in Manaus, Brazil, Grace and Reno, and Project Macedonia, and actually Riverside actually does the same thing with the same people. So you could technically go with different churches to the same place, or you can also go to different places too, and local or worldwide. It doesn't matter either. Just getting out and really smiling at people, kind of, you never know what kind of seed that plants.
Wow. Wow. It's exciting. My parents used to do it all the time, would go out and especially to Tobago to be able to help the Indians and the Native Americans or thereabouts. And it's something that I aspire to do, but I've never been able to do yet. So someday that'll maybe next year.
And your son just did one this past summer.
He did, and he brought back a paper saying, "I want to go again."
Oh.
So,
some people get addicted like myself.
Yeah,
it's not hard to do.
It just opens your heart when you go and do stuff like that, and you can tell with him, that he's really excited about it. So.
I mean, right now with all the hurricanes and the damage and stuff there, I mean, there's tons of need. I mean, there's always a need, right? And whether you're going down to Florida or Texas or, Puerto Rico or wherever, your next door neighbor for that matter, it's just really getting out and being willing to help.
Yeah.
Your neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to go around the world.
Nope.
You could volunteer to help down in Peoria at different locations and really, make a difference there.
Right. Well, that's the whole point of our show, right? Kind of trying to introduce people to all the different nonprofits that we have around us to help you find your passion of where you want to be, who you want to help, whether it's, going into Bueller Home and visiting with someone there, or going to Critton Center and holding a baby, or, going to the Center of Prevention of Abuse and doing some landscaping to help them out there. It just doesn't take much. Yep. And you don't have to dedicate yourself to an entire day or week or month or year, even if you've got an afternoon.
Yeah,
people
I guess
need help.
That does really define what we do and with in the neighborhood is we really talk about how can you get involved. And there are so many ways. People complain about this or complain about that, but if you're not stepping up, you don't really have a right to really complain, in my opinion. Step up, do something, whether it's big or small, whether it's financial or it's picking up a hammer or picking up a rake or just sitting by somebody and just paying attention to them and giving them a little bit of your love and time. And, that really makes a difference in everybody's life.
That's right. And it may seem small to you. A smile may seem small, but to someone else, you could have prevented them from making a decision that ended something.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. I think I've talked about this before, but there's a lady that lived across the street from our house. She was an elderly lady living. She'd been a widow for probably 20 some years, and she was probably hitting 80 some. Her name was Iona Tusaw. What a name, Iona Tusaw. And my mom once asked me, "Can you go and ask her for a cup of sugar?" Believe it or not, it was a real cup of sugar she was looking for. We lived about 7 miles from town, and I went and I started talking to her. I asked her for the sugar. Of course, she's like, "Oh yes, please. I'm glad to help." And I just started talking with her, and she kept talking and talking, and I was like, "This is great. I love that story," and that's why I love to pull the story out of people when we talk about it, and just getting to know a little bit about her life. And after about an hour, half hour of talking to her, I'm like, "Oh, I've got to get this back because my mom's cooking right now." And I went to my mom and I'm like, she was telling some really great stories, and I think she's a little bit lonely. I think I'm going to go back there and talk to her some more. So I went back and spent another hour and a half with her.
Wow.
And my mom said, "That's a really good thing you did. You know, she is probably lonely." And you know, it's just that difference of spending time listening to somebody and giving just a little. It didn't cost me anything but a little bit of playtime to sit and talk with her, but
Right.
made a difference. So that's what this
It's
is about.
important because if you think about it too, I see on Facebook people or hear about people saying, "I'm bored, I'm lonely, I don't have anything to do, poor me." There's a lot of people out there like that. So go help someone, go be with someone, go make it so you don't have that. I mean, we're never alone, but I get it how we feel that way, right? In regards to our experiences. But imagine how you would feel if you just took the time to pick up the phone and call someone else
Yeah.
or shoot a text or go visit or whatever it is. There's so much that could be done where if we are all helping each other, you wouldn't see those posts anymore.
Yeah, if you're lonely and there's a statement that says giving starts the receiving process. So if you want to find that companionship, that love, give it. You know, so I think that's a big thing in making a difference in people's lives. But if you're lonely, go give that time.
That's right.
So you're involved with a lot of different things, and I don't want to distract from what we're talking about, but you've been involved with Make-A-Wish, Halt Center, and quite a few different things. Why do you do that?
I think it's the feeling when you get to help people, of it feels good. Like you feel like you're on top of the world. I mean, I'm a doer. That's just who I am. But being able to help someone when it's not a big deal to me, it's why not? I mean, I don't like to sit still for very long sometimes, so that's probably one of my challenges. But to be able to go out and help someone and being with people, one of the best times of learning about someone is when you're actually volunteering with them. So here I was, in Brazil, to go back to that, couple, Chris and Judy and Henry, I'd been on a mission trip with before. Mark and Claire and Ken, I had never met before in my life. And so this mission trip brought me together with them. And what a way to really get to learn about people, and to learn about yourself at the same time. So that's not easy to do, but when you're volunteering, nobody's mean. Everybody's nice. So I don't know if that's part of it. Just being able to help and come together with people and how nice people are and how everyone's willing to just do the best that they can do. It's always a good feeling situation. You can't be angry when you're volunteering, right? So there's something about that. It's kind of a high on life of, here we get to help and see people's smiles. I love seeing people smile. So whether it's from me smiling or, trying to be a clown or make a joke or, just to be silly, I love to hear people laugh and I love to see people smile. And just if you can help in any way, shape, or form, then that's definitely what I'm going to do. I don't know why or how or whatever. It's just, but it's funny actually, just from you sharing that story about walking across the street. I have a terrible memory, but I know that when I was little and we lived on Gift Street across from Agachuchi's, I know that I did the same thing. Mom didn't actually ask me. I don't know why I had gone over there, but I went and visited the little lady that lived across the street by herself. I don't remember conversations like you may have because, again, I have a terrible memory, but it's just fun to learn and hear people's passions and their stories, and you just never know what they have to share.
Right. So to everybody out there, if you don't know what to do, you have an idea but don't know how to get connected, reach out to us on Facebook. Especially, that'd be a really easy place.
Absolutely.
Let's start a conversation on how to get involved. If you're a non-for-profit and want people to be involved with you, post it on our Facebook page, especially with this video. And let's start a conversation of how people can get involved. I think that would be a great thing for people to get involved.
What we're here for, right? Just trying to help get people connected and Get
Yep.
people volunteering to make Peoria a better place.
Right. What you're doing with the mission trip is Christian based, but if you're not a Christian and you still want to be involved with something in Peoria, there's a lot of opportunities.
Plenty.
Yes. So we're going to play a video, and why don't you set that video up just a little bit for us?
So on a whim, Chris Marshallonis and our team, he actually brought his camera and video. And I know that you had talked to him before, which was totally random that you met him at, what was it, McDonald's or somewhere?
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so he pulled out the camera, and Henry and I were actually sitting there having a nice conversation. And so Chris is like, let's do a video. And I said, all right, Henry, we're going to do a video. And he's like, what? And I said, okay, look at the camera. Here we go. So we totally were just completely random. We were just on our way into the jungle. I did say that there's going to be more videos, but our trip was pretty intense, so we didn't actually get to do any videos but this one. But I hope you enjoy it. It's Henry and I we totally just went off the cuff, and it's a little bit hard to hear because we are traveling down the Amazon in Brazil, but I think you'll enjoy it.
All right, we're not going to talk during this one, but enjoy the video and have a great week, everyone.
We're coming to you, not really live, but as live as it's going to be, in the middle of the Amazon, right?
Yes, outside of Manaus, about 60 miles.
We're out in the middle of
Roughly.
somewhere. We're not
Yeah.
really sure, but we're heading to the jungle on a mission trip with Richwich Christian Church, and I'm here with one of the originals who's been here from the beginning until present, and it's my friend Henry.
And don't mean I'm old.
So Henry, how many times have you been to Brazil?
This is my 8th trip.
Your 8th trip.
Yes.
8 times he's been on a boat like this and slept in a hammock.
Yes. And yes, I have. It was awesome. And I still love it.
So if you could remember one thing about your very first trip, what was it?
Learning to pray.
Learn to pray.
Yeah. By coming here, I learned how to learn to comprehend.
Why was that?
Because that's all it did. When I first came here, Grace and their congregation, we prayed for everything. And the first time I came, I was tired. I was out of my head praying. I couldn't believe how much it was praying.
Yeah.
But it was catching.
You thought you did.
Yes, it did.
So then you came with how many people your first trip?
The first time was
4 people.
yeah, it was myself, Jada Harris, Tim Barnes, Nathan Ruby.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
And
4 of us.
would you have ever known in your life that you would be on a mission trip to Brazil?
No. Matter of fact, I wasn't supposed to be here today. Every time I go, I say I'm not going again. But I always wind up back here.
Here you
Here I
are.
am again, yes.
Wow. And then for your second trip, they said what? How did you get hooked into this?
My second trip, that was a long time ago.
Did they ask you to go, or did you say you're in it for the long haul?
Yes.
Okay.
I was asked to go. And I've been asked to go every year since. Yeah.
And has anything stopped you from coming? Or tried to stop
There
you?
are things that try to stop me. The devil tries to stop me from coming.
Yeah?
This trip now, I was very sick the day we left. I didn't feel good. But once I got here,
All good.
and you guys prayed for me, and everybody at the airport,
Praying again.
yeah,
How's that?
praying again. It works. Yes, it works. Well, here I am.
Here you are.
And I was this close to not going. I really was. But Ken and Claire begged me to go. And I couldn't let them down. I didn't want to let them down. I really didn't. But this is their first trip.
Yeah.
So I wanted to introduce them to us and let them know it's going to be good and everything's going to be all right. And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Do you speak Portuguese?
What?
Do you speak Portuguese?
What you want?
I don't know.
No, I don't speak Portuguese. I know a couple words. Bom dia. What's the other one?
Nope, not
Obrigado.
Oh, obrigado.
Obrigado.
Not Bon Jovi.
Not Banjo.
Oh, crazy. So it was the second trip that I maybe joined you, or the third? Do you remember?
Third trip.
Third trip. trip I joined in.
Yes, I remember that.
So what happens on these mission trips with the people that we meet?
They become friends forever.
Yeah,
Yes, they do.
forever friends.
I met all most people I know in Richwood. I met a lot of them at the on the mission trip.
Yeah,
And we're still friends and we'll be friends forever.
that's right.
It's great.
And all ages.
All ages, all races.
So if we were to tell someone why they should come on a mission trip, why would that be?
Well, we got two reasons. One, to get to know God and trust Him by coming. You come when you get here. You gotta have faith. You gotta trust Him that He's gonna do and lead you in the right way.
Just reasons why you come on a mission trip. Trying to get more people to
I'll come on a mission trip because when we come, good things happen. A lot of things happen. People come to God. Just because we're here, that blows me away. They show up to church, the church is still up. And that's all we're supposed to do. People find the child of God. That's what we need.
Be the light.
Pardon me?
Be the light.
Yes.
So one of the things after my first trip that I remember is I didn't know that there was a Christian radio station. Remember us talking about that a little bit ago? Yeah.
Me either.
I'll never forget my very first mission trip, sitting in a hammock, and God was rocking. And He said, I'm going to introduce you to some amazing people. And He said, I'm also going to show you some different ways. So I called it Poor Hose Back to the Basics. Because Stephen Benjamin put a headset on me and I got to hear Christian music like I've never heard before. And I will forever be changed just from that one single.
Really? Well, Christian preacher do that to you.
I know.
Listen, well,
I know.
change your heart. Yeah, I never knew a Christian preacher was so cool.
Right?
Had a beat to it and everything,
Maybe you might even want to dance to it.
You're right. I catch myself dance with it, and I got to remind myself, that's Christian music. Hold on. It's all good.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Yes.
Praise God.
Absolutely.
To every single kind of music.
Absolutely. You're right about that.
And to be surrounded by His beauty that He made for us.
All of this. Yes, He did. And you can feel it all around us. And when we're out here, it seems like we're where we want to be. And He watches over us. And we come with ideas of our own, but when we get here, we just start following Him. Because nothing ever works when we get here. We got all these plans and stuff to do this and do that. Get that. God said you're going to do this.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
That's right.
And it's all good.
Yep.
All good.
So cool. So, yeah, that's one of the things. We think that we're coming here to roll up our sleeves and do all this work. But really what the work is being done is
In us.
right here.
Right here in our heart.
We invite you to join us as we continue on these interviews for the rest of our trip. Take care and God bless. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
NoriaLife.com